All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling a super important topic for anyone in Ontario who dreams of escaping the winter. We're digging into OHIP and travel insurance, especially for all you snowbirds. And trust me, the rules have probably changed since the last time you checked.
Yeah, the snowbird life. It really is the dream, isn't it? Just packing up, leaving all that ice and snow behind, and spending months soaking up the sun. It's an incredible reward for a life of hard work.
But here's where we need to get serious for a minute. While you're packing for paradise, one of your biggest risks isn't a lost suitcase, it's a medical emergency hundreds or thousands of miles from home. And the scary part? Finding out that trusty health card in your wallet might not be the safety net you assume it is.
So this leads us right into a huge and honestly a widely misunderstood part of being a snowbird, the great insurance myth. There's what most of us think we know about our provincial health coverage, and then there's the cold, hard reality.
Okay, so here it is. This is the one point that changes absolutely everything. As of January 1st, 2020, OHIP, your Ontario health insurance plan, provides zero, and I mean zero, coverage for medical bills outside of Canada. That old program, the one that offered a tiny bit of coverage, it's gone. It just doesn't exist anymore.
And look, the reality is, well, it's pretty simple and frankly, a little jarring. Your OHIP card is for Ontario. The second you leave the province, whether you're just popping over to Quebec or flying down to Florida, that coverage basically stops at the border.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, if OHIP doesn't pay for my hospital stay in Arizona, I can just forget about it, right? Nope, not at all. And this is where things get kind of weird. It's the central paradox we need to wrap our heads around. Even though it won't pay your bills abroad, that OHIP card might just be the most important travel document you have.
So, why on earth is it so important?
Well, it's because the entire Canadian travel insurance system is built right on top of it. Most private insurers won't even sell you a policy unless you have valid provincial coverage. It's what keeps your premiums from being sky high. And here's the kicker. It allows for something called repatriation. That's the emergency flight home to a Canadian hospital, where OHIP then picks up the tab. Without a valid OHIP card, that option disappears and your whole private policy could be worthless right when you need it most.
Let's just pause on that word. Repatriation. What is it, really? Think of it as the escape hatch that makes Canadian travel insurance affordable. The insurance companies know that if things get really bad, they can fly you back home, transfer you to a Canadian hospital, and OHIP will take over the huge ongoing costs. It saves them a fortune, and those savings get passed on to you as lower premiums.
So it's pretty clear that keeping your OHIP active isn't just a good idea. It's absolutely mission critical for most snowbirds. So how do you actually do it? Well, you have to play by the government's rules, and believe me, they are very specific.
You just need to follow three main rules. First, obviously, you need a valid health card to begin with. Second, Ontario has to be your primary residence, your home base. And third, and listen up because this is the big one, you have to be physically in Ontario for at least 153 days every year. This is especially crucial if you're planning those longer stays away.
Let's just burn that number into our brains, okay? 153. That's about 5 months a year. This is the magic number that trips so many people up. You have to meet this requirement for 2 years straight before a long absence to make sure you keep your OHIP coverage. It's everything.
And here's a really important warning. This is 100% on you. It is your job to track your days in and out of the province. The government is not going to send you a friendly email saying, hey, just a heads up, your OHIP is about to lapse. The first time you find out there's a problem will likely be when you're trying to make an insurance claim. And that is the worst possible time to discover it.
So what if it's too late? What if you miscalculated or your plans changed and, oops, you've accidentally let your OHIP coverage lapse? Well, it's not the end of your travels, but it definitely puts you at a fork in the road where you have some pretty big and more expensive decisions to make.
So let's imagine that scenario. You're down south, you realize your OHIP isn't valid anymore, and suddenly you feel like you're on a tightrope without a net. What do? Okay, first, don't panic. You do have options. There's a whole category of insurance products made for this exact situation. You've basically got two main paths. The first is what's called emergency health insurance.
Think of this as a short-term fix. It's designed to cover you for those sudden, unexpected crises while you get your OHIP situation sorted out. The other path is comprehensive global medical insurance. Now, this is the whole shebang. It's a full replacement for OHIP, covering checkups, major treatments, everything. But as you can imagine, it costs a whole lot more and is really for people living abroad full-time.
And that really leads us to the smartest move of all, especially if you're thinking about being away for the long haul, maybe even permanently. The whole strategy has to shift from maintaining OHIP to replacing it in a smart, proactive way.
So what's the expert advice here? It's simple. Invest in that big, comprehensive global medical plan early. The whole point is to lock in your coverage before any pre-existing health conditions can become a problem. Because once you have a health issue, trying to get that kind of coverage can become incredibly difficult, if not impossible.
So, what's the bottom line for anyone planning for the long term? It all comes down to foresight. Figure out your insurance needs way in advance. Get that rock-solid coverage while you're still healthy. You have to stop thinking of it as just another bill and start seeing it as an investment that protects both your health and your finances down the road.
And that's really what it all boils down to. You've invested so much time, so much money, and so much passion into creating this incredible Snowbird lifestyle. So the question you have to ask yourself is this: are you making the single most important investment to protect it all? The one that protects your health, so you can keep on living that dream for years to come. Thanks for watching The Explainer.